Everyone be peaceful. Everyone be peaceful. The giant wants peace.
And then you're like, no, cheese.
Like,
oh, no peace.
No peace. Everyone fight. Right. Everyone fight. Well, I'm Matt.
And I'm Carter.
And welcome to It's Kind of a Gray Area.
Yep, welcome back, guys.
Yep, the show where we talk about everything.
But say nothing.
So we've done a lot on this show, including or excluding weaponizing things.
Yes.
And today is no different.
Yeah, we've talked about weaponizing sharks before.
That was a big hit. People love that one.
Yeah.
Today's going to be a little different.
Right.
Like, they're like little sharks. They're like little bears. They're like little water bears, and they're adorable.
Yes.
And pretty much indestructible. We're talking about tardigrades.
Yes. Also known as water bears.
Also, it was, mossy piglets. Not a name very commonly used for them. Usually it's tardigrades or water bears.
Right.
But they are this small. They're that small. They're somewhere
smaller than that even.
In my fingerprint is
Right.
where they live.
So what are these things?
Well, they're microscopic animals. They measure 1.5 millimeters at their biggest and 0.1 millimeters at their smallest, but their eggs are 0.05 millimeters. Basically, you need a microscope, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you need a microscope for something that's 1.5 millimeters? That feels like it would be barely visible.
I feel like that would be visible, but you'd have to be right there.
Right. Like it would be tiny for sure, but
Yeah.
still, I think you might be able to see it.
They're not just around like some people think. They're not just like microscopic animals that kind of live everywhere.
Right.
They mostly live
In water.
Prefer in or around water.
Right.
Like high hydrated, humidity areas. Moss. They love moss.
Right.
They're herbivores.
Okay.
But if you're smaller than them, they will eat you if you're meat also. They're carnivorous by choice.
What animals are small enough for them to eat?
I actually didn't look into that in depth. I don't know.
I guess Ant-Man if he gets stuck on that level.
Oh my gosh, Ant-Man versus Tardigrade.
Yeah, he saw tardigrades.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he passed by a few on his way down
Yeah.
on the elevator to the atomic level. Right.
So today's shade is, should we weaponize them? Because they're basically invulnerable.
Right.
Their only weakness is
Love.
UV. Okay, well, love.
UV.
Yep, UV lights mostly scientifically. You can't measure love scientifically, so we're gonna go
Not yet, at least.
We're gonna go with UV rays for now.
Right.
So UV rays are their only weakness. But here's the thing: their weakness, we can withstand like 500 UV measurements, whatever that is. I can't remember. They can withstand 100 times that.
So they can withstand way more radiation than we're capable of withstanding.
Yeah, and their weakness is 100 times more deadly. Less deadly? 100 times more deadly to us? I don't know. They're stronger. You guys get it.
Right.
They can survive in the vacuum of space. They can survive down in the ocean. They can survive up in the air, on a mountain, in a plane, in a hat, in a cat, in a box with a fox.
Right.
All that stuff. They're basically superpowered animals.
So I guess with them being so invulnerable and microscopic, they would be pretty good spies if we could make like a microscopic camera.
I would think more if we're going to weaponize them, it would be like we're going to enlarge them. We're going to make them the size of, a ferret or a
I was
bear.
thinking like a cow or a bear.
Yeah,
like
bear.
an actual bear. Just make a water bear the size of a bear.
Yeah.
That would be unstoppable.
And they only live for a couple months,
Right.
By the way, if fully hydrated, which is a weird thing to say about an animal. If you fully hydrate it, it only lasts a couple years. But they can actually go into their hibernation cycle where they completely dry up. It's called TUN, like TUN.
Okay.
If they go into their TUN hibernation cycle, they can actually last decades, survive decades. But they only live for a couple months.
Right. So my first thought is, these things are indestructible. They can survive a lot of radiation. They don't live a super long time, but you could have them as like sleeper agents where you just keep them frozen for a while and then just let them thaw out and attack your enemy when you're ready.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You could basically just drop them somewhere, bury them in the sand. Like we would attack another country that's like desert based.
Right.
I'm not going to say any specific countries. And then just drop like a big water balloon, I guess, and just be like, activate.
Yeah.
Which is like,
So they would grow to like a massive size at the same time as
no,
being rehydrated?
No. They would be that size already, but they would be like buried in the sand and
Gotcha.
totally dried out.
So it's like Dune.
So, yeah, it's like Dune.
But yeah, I mean, I think we could totally find a way to do that. Like, there's got to be something, especially if we could develop like anti-shrinking technology.
Well, I mean, I saw in the, 80s or 90s, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Like, some scientists saw that 20, 30 years ago and was like, we can do that.
Yeah, just use that in the reverse on a
Yeah.
tardigrade,
Well,
and then you've got a terrifying water bear
I think there's a scientist out there that knows how to do this.
that knows how to enlarge things.
Yes.
I don't know. I think if we had the technology, we would know about it.
Government. It's the government.
Well, then you're never going to know about these tardigrades either then. But there's no way they could keep that secret.
As long as they're on our side.
Right.
Recently, we actually accidentally, it wasn't us as Earthlings, accidentally dropped a payload of tardigrades onto the moon.
Yes.
So that happened.
Yeah. So they're up there right now. If someone gets up there with one of those enlarging rays, they could just claim the lunar surface as their own. There's already a supply of tardigrades there.
Well, Gru shrunk the moon
Right.
in Despicable Me, so
Allowing it to be infested by tardigrades while
Yeah.
it was that small.
yeah. And
Right.
a lot of other things. No, that's not sanitary. He shouldn't have done that.
No.
He's got to have a better scientist.
That would cause so much damage
Oh
on
my
Earth.
gosh, it would.
If you just shrunk the moon down, my God, that would be catastrophic.
Yeah, but they're saying that as much as I'd love to believe there's a big colony of tardigrades up there on the moon, they're saying that they most likely did not, like they survived because they're in their tune state,
Right.
hibernative state. But they have to be activated by water, and
Right.
there's no water up there. Although there's ice found on the moon, there's no water, and also there's UV rays up there. Perfect scenario if they crash landed in a pit or on the dark side of the moon, shaded side of the moon. They're going to be protected from UV rays, at least the heavier stuff. So that would help them out, but they would have to find water. Maybe someone had a canteen on board and the canteen spilled over and then they activated them and then they're just like, what the heck?
Right.
But
possible.
Other than that, they're saying it's most likely they're not up there.
Right.
Or
Well,
they're
they're up there, but they're not like running around rampaging on the moon.
Yeah, they're just sleeping, which is
Right,
way less
for now.
exciting. Oh, could someone make a movie about tardigrades on the moon?
Yeah, someone definitely get on that. That
Yeah.
could make a fantastic movie.
Maybe the radiation is like slightly different up there, and actually over like the next 50 years they
They
grow.
get larger.
Yeah, something happens.
And the main tardigrade is played by Andy Serkis.
Listen, we're watching Critters right now. This idea is not a stretch.
No.
This is very within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I would say so.
So, should we, as Americans, weaponize tardigrades?
Okay. As long as everyone gets tardigrades, I'm okay with it. But if it's just us with the tardigrades,
Pretty unfair.
yeah,
It's like we have a pet dinosaur and you don't. Like,
yeah.
who's gonna win?
Well, I'm gonna say no. then,
Okay.
Because it seems like if you could enlarge them and weaponize them, they would be a very dangerous thing. So, for the sake of this argument, I'm gonna say no.
For the sake of this argument, I'm gonna say yes.
But let's find out.
Yes, I'm gonna say that we should.
All right.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Boom! You should weaponize them.
I guess so.
Everyone in the world should have a pet tardigrade.
Yep.
That's not what we decided, but
That's what the universe decided.
the universe decided that every country on Earth should have a tardigrade to fight with.
Fair's fair. So, keeping on the theme of tiny things,
Yep.
today's Would You Rather is, would you rather be microscopic, much like a tardigrade,
All of me or just a certain part?
all of you,
Okay.
and indestructible, much like a tardigrade, but
Okay.
this is true indestructibility. Like, you will survive a normal human lifespan, but you're invulnerable to the cold, to the heat, to the vacuum of space,
Okay.
all of that.
So I'm still me, just like basic superpowers almost.
Right,
But-
but microscopic.
But microscopic. That's
Right, like you could ride around on the back of a tardigrade.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or be as tall as a building, but you're vulnerable to being killed or disease or death.
All right, so I'm still me, but as tall as a building.
Right, or still you, but as small as a tardigrade.
But as strong and like superpowers, basically.
Right.
Okay. Well, I go through a lot of pet tardigrades because I would live a normal human lifespan and they live a couple months.
Right.
So there'd be a lot of heartbreak there.
Yeah. from their perspective, you would basically be immortal because you would outlive them by several lifespans.
Well, they would live a couple months, let's say 6 months. And so if I live to be like 80, I'm living 160 of their lifespans.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That would be like immortal. Man. So, but there wouldn't be anyone else with me. It would be just me and the tardigrades.
Yeah.
I'd end up going native.
You just become one of them.
Just become one of them, yeah.
Yeah. Then, yeah, if you're tall as a building, you're more alienated, but at least, I guess you could still talk to people.
Yeah.
They might have a hard time understanding you because it'll just sound like, I want cheese. And they're like,
pizza.
Did he say he wants peace or cheese?
Everyone be peaceful. Everyone be peaceful. The giant wants peace.
And then you're like, no, cheese.
Like,
oh, no peace.
No peace. Everyone fight. Everyone fight. I think, oh man, it would be so lonely, but I think I'd go with the tardigrades. Like,
really? That's surprising.
I would go with the tardigrades because I feel like if they'd end up being like a man's best friend situation, I'm thinking like that where it's like you have a companion, like so I'd have the tardigrades as like the dog.
Right.
And then I would just be like, yeah, it's just me in the wilderness. Like, yeah, just riding tardigrades, riding around, visiting other tardigrades.
Right.
We had tardigrade
Be like the
family
Wild
dinners.
West of the microscopic universe.
Basically.
Right.
Yeah, the tardigrade family dinners.
Hanging out with Osmosis Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think I would go with the giant. Kind of be like in Gulliver's Travels when he meets like the Lilliputian people.
We would never be able to communicate.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh, no, we would never talk to each other again. That's why I'm going with this one. To cut off ties, I would just go to being a giant.
Cut to commercial. I mean, I can see that. I can see the appeal of that. I can.
Oh my God, what if we just added commercial breaks? Like of made up commercials.
Maybe we should start doing that. Comment below if you guys think we should start just throwing in ridiculous commercials that we made.
Yeah, I would like to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's my answer. I would go as tall as a building.
Okay. And I would be a microscopic tardigrade wrangler.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess today we found out that you can weaponize tardigrades, and Matt would like to get on their level.
Yep.
And live in the Wild West of the tardigrade universe. Meanwhile, I'm going to be the size of a building and struggling to communicate how much I want cheese.
Yep.
Right.
Basically the gist of what you got here.
Yeah. Well, if you guys like today's episode, there's a lot of other episodes out there that you might like, featuring things such as being tiny, being huge, weird science topics, misunderstanding science. They're all out there and they're ready for you to consume. So get out there and eat them up.
That's right. But in the meantime, remember to comment, like, and push that subscribe button so you don't miss out.
Yep. And if you're a giant, consider donating your shoes to Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, that's nice. You're a kind giant. Mm-hmm. Ring the notification bell.
Train your pet tardigrade to do your bidding.
And if you accidentally eat your pet, don't worry. Just collect it again in a few days.
Mm-hmm.
And as always,
IKAGA. Yep.
Yay!